What's up, YouTube? Sean the Average Angler, and for the next couple of days I'm going to bring you some not less popular, it's just not talked about. All right, there's plenty of people doing it, plenty of people that know, they're keeping it to themselves. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag and tune you into a couple of techniques that are very, very effective and nobody's talking about. All right, stay tuned. We're going to get right into it here in a second. All right, Sean the Average Angler, we're back. We're going to give it up the juice. I like giving up the juice to a point. I'm not going to give you my secret spots, but I'm going to show you some stuff I've learned over the years technique-wise that I think can really help your fishing. Okay, we're coming into fall, which means winter time and then spring are really not that far away. When you're my age, they're closer than you think because time goes faster and faster. So what we're going to talk today about is a top secret bait that's rigged on the bottom of that. Hang out because we're going to show you. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little hint. We're going to talk about shaky heads, and I've got my other phone here so I can show you. This is a frenzy nail. Okay, you can see how well it stands up. That's a 4/0 hook, very stout, not overly stout, but you can fish this on bait casting gear, okay, up to 14-15 pound test. It also works very well on spinning gear. Okay, this is really, really good in rock, around under docks, points, mud, that kind of stuff. Okay, where it doesn't really shine very well for me is in grass, weeds, grass, whatever you want to call it. Now I do want to say I use the frenzy nail for buoyant baits, so floating type baits. Okay, your Z-Man type stuff, for instance. Now if I'm throwing like a 6-inch worm or Reaction Innovations flirt worm, which I'll show you that in a minute, I tend to use the Owner. I believe this is called the Blockhead. Again, pretty stout hook, still weedless. It's got the screw lock up front, right? And then you put the worm in the back. Again, not real weedless because, and the same reason on both of them, they're both exposed up here, and the grass can push that down, and then your hook point gets in there, and then the worm's no longer straight. So, let's see, back in January, I was introduced to this head here. Stop spinning, baby. Okay, that is a Bass Union weedless shaky head. You can see much better protected through there. Now, this is not the first weedless shaky head / finesse type head that I've used. Zipper came out with these 20 plus years ago, but there was a flaw in the design, and it had to do with the hook tie eye, the hook eye, and I wish I still had some. I believe, I don't know, but I believe the hook tie was in the nose, and the hook sat more flat, and the point was actually down below the head, kind of like in line with where the shank comes out here. So this is far different. It sticks up. You can imagine the head's going to pull across like that. The hook's going to help it stand up. Now it's going to tip over with the worm on it, not in water, but you can kind of get the idea that it's going to want to do that. Your hook is exposed up here, so when you pull this, that hook point is going to be exposed to the fish and it's going to hook them good. Now, if I did not fish this already and have great success with it, I would not be telling you this, okay? Now, this one I would not suggest fishing with bait casting gear. This is a finesse technique. This is a 3/16 ounce head, 1/0 hook. They also make the 2/0, which I suggest getting the 2/0. Okay, they're not that much bigger, but it gives you more options bait-wise. That said, you can see there's plenty of bite left there. Okay, plenty of bite to hook the fish. Now, what am I going to fish this on? I have this rigged to my iRod Crusher series. It's a 702. Okay. So 7 foot, 2 power, spinning. iRod calls it a medium. Okay, I'm gonna call it, yeah, I'll go with medium. Maybe a little lighter than a medium. This is a very light, sensitive rod. Pairs perfect with that 3/16. Now the advantage of going to 3/16, they also come in quarter and I believe also 1/8. I prefer the 3/16 ounce. Okay, it's still really light. You can go down to the smaller one. I don't like to go up to the bigger one because if I want to throw a quarter, most of the time I'm going to go to the nail and fish it on a bait casting rod. But for my finesse stuff, I want to fish it with a spinning rod for a couple of reasons. One, that hook isn't meant to handle too heavy a line. Okay, this is 10-pound braid to 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. Okay, very simple, very common spinning setup. I'm sure you all have one. How many of you have a crusher though, right? iRod Crusher series. These are badass. So this is my experience with this. I bought these for a tournament I was fishing on Orville, and I was very reluctant because of my past experience with the zipper and some other weedless ones that just weren't aligned properly, so their hookup ratio was terrible. This one, the hookup ratio is phenomenal. So we're going a long ways from dismal, or whatever it was I said. I can't remember that long ago because it was like 20 seconds. But this one was really, really good. Okay, so hookup ratio is our first concern. Second, this bait came out of snags really, really well. Now, why is that important? Well, because as we all know, terminal tackle is not the cheapest thing at the store. These aren't expensive, but they're not cheap. And hey, who wants to give them away and have to retie if we can get them out? Get over the top, shake it. Man, they were popping out. I only lost a couple. And for those of you that are familiar with Orville, only losing a couple rigs in a day is amazing, okay? I mean amazing. You can go through a ton of them, okay? All right, some other baits you can use on this. Another real favorite, the Z-Man SMH worm. It's Elastec. It's really buoyant, it floats really well, and that head, it's gonna be able to tip it up, okay? The head's built that way, but it's also, this is buoyant enough and that head's light enough that it'll rock it up. This also works very, very well in the frenzy when you're in the other kinds of water or you want to fish heavier line. But if you have grass around, the Bass Union weedless. Okay, this also works very well with a Fatty Z. And we'll get into this one a little more tomorrow because I'm going to give you some more juice for some other things I got coming. All right, Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We're trying to bring you a lot of stuff to help you guys catch more fish. Really appreciate the support. Thanks to all the new subscribers. We're growing. We're heading towards 1,900. We're still doing a real giveaway at 2,100. Okay? We're at almost 19, so we're not too far off, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Sean, the Average Angler. We'll see you on the next one.